¿Qué tal todos? What's good? Estamos activos. Bienvenido. We're now una comunidad of more than 12,500. So muchas gracias for all y'all that have already subscribed. And if you haven't yet, you'll probably want to after this lesson. So you might as well come on. One of the most confusing things for Spanish learners to understand is the difference between por and para because they both mean for. But which do you use when? Para mí, todas las lecciones when I was learning Spanish really overcomplicated this. So I literally have worked on this lesson for months in an attempt to make it as easy and clear as possible. So I hope this helps. Let's start with para. Para is much more straightforward, and I've narrowed it down to tres reglas. Use para in 3 situations: purpose, belonging, and final destinations. Here's what these things include. Use para to talk about the purpose for something. It's also another way to say in order to. Estoy aprendiendo español para hablar con otros. I'm learning Spanish in order to talk with others. The purpose for me learning Spanish is to talk with others. Trabajo para ganar dinero. I work in order to earn money. So the purpose for me working is to earn money. Esta agua es para beber. This water is for drinking. The purpose of this water is to drink. So regla número 1 is use para for purpose. Número 2 is for belonging. Use para to talk about something belonging to someone or something, or them being the receiver of something. Esta llave es para mi casa. This key is for my house. It belongs to my house. Mi esposa quisiera el pastel, y para mí, el arroz con leche, por favor. My wife would like the cake, and for me, the rice pudding, please. So I'll be the receiver of the rice pudding. Este regalo es para ti. This gift is for you. The gift belongs to you. You're the receiver of the gift. This is also true when you're talking about opinions, because the opinion belongs to somebody. Para mí, el rojo es mejor. For me, the red one is better. So in my opinion, the opinion belongs to me. It's also true for when something is due, because whatever it is belongs to that specific day or time. Esta tarea es para mañana. This homework is for tomorrow. It's due tomorrow, and it's kind of like tomorrow is the owner of that homework. La cita es para el jueves. The appointment is for Thursday. Thursday is like the owner of that appointment. And last, for belonging, use para to compare something or someone to others in its same group. So a group that it belongs to. Para comida rápida, esta comida está buena. For fast food, this food is good. So although it belongs to the fast food category, this food is good. Para un principiante, sabes mucho. For a beginner, you know a lot. So although you belong to the beginner group, you know a lot. And the final regla for para is use para to talk about final destinations. Salgo para Nueva York mañana. I leave for New York tomorrow. So New York is my final destination. Voy para allá esta noche. I'm going over there tonight. So over there is my final destination. Ven para acá. Come over here. Over here is where I want you to end up. Here's something important to know about para. You may often hear para shortened to just pa. This is the same how in English, instead of saying cannot, we'll just say can't, because it's easier and faster. So for example, instead of voy para allá, you may just hear voy para allá. Voy para allá. And instead of ven para acá, you may just hear ven para acá. So pa is short for para. So that's how you use para. There may be some unique situations that weren't covered in those 3 reglas, but for the most part, you can assume that if it wasn't one of those 3 things, that you're going to use por. So now let's look at por, which I've also done my best to simplify. This list is a little longer, so you don't necessarily have to try to focus on memorizing this. Just try to listen and understand the way it is. You'll use por for by, blame, time, per, exchanges, and directions. For each of these, I'm just going to give you some really popular examples. So for the first one, use por as a way to say by. Viajamos por tren a Italia. Hablamos por teléfono. Por favor. This literally means by favor, but we take it to mean please. Esta canción fue cantada por Romeo Santos. Por Dios. Use por to talk about durations of time. Hemos estado aquí por 2 horas. Voy a estudiar por 30 minutos. Por primera vez entiendo la diferencia. Por fin. Use por to say because of or that's why. You're placing the blame for something onto something else. That's why in Spanish, both why and because both use por. Por su amor de español, siempre lo estudiaba. Por el número de gente que vino, pedí más comida. Por eso me voy. Por tu culpa. This one is like because of your fault. So it's your fault. Por suerte. This one is like because of luck, but it's really more like luckily or fortunately. Gracias por tu ayuda. This is kind of like I'm giving you thanks because of your help. So in other words, thanks for your help. So a quick tip, anytime you're saying thank you for something, it will always be gracias por whatever it is. To say things like per hour or per person, you'll use por. 30 millas por hora. 2 maletas por persona. 2 veces por semana. Note though that this doesn't work for things like per my last email. Not that kind of per. Use por when you're talking about exchanging one thing for something else. Pagué $60 por estos zapatos. Te daré mi galleta por tu caramelo. This also includes when something is done instead of something else. Fui al supermercado por mi madre porque ella estaba enferma. I went to the grocery store instead of my mother because she was sick. And lastly, use por to talk about directions. It can mean through, around, or a general location. Caminamos por el parque. No hay ninguna tienda por aquí. Ella sigue por la calle principal. Por todas partes, por ningún lado. So those are the main differences between por and para. If you at least learn the ones for para, then you'll know that if it's not one of those things, then it's most likely por. So that may not just catch every situation, but it'll at least get you there the majority of the time. Gracias por estar aquí. Hasta la próxima.